What if you had a trading plan that actually works? Ladies and gentlemen, fellow traders, welcome to the live show. It's good to see you all again. Hope you're all back. Hope you're all making loads of money and everything's going according to plan, even though there's all these fundamental things going on in the background, all this noise and all these hassles. But, you know, you can't predict the market. The market's 50-50. It always is. Never changes, does it? And that brings me to the risk. Don't forget, trading's risky. If you don't like risk, you shouldn't be trading. You should be a doctor. You should have gone and studied for 1,000,000 years and become a doctor or a lawyer. How you guys doing? I hope you're all well. Hope everything's great. Let me know in the comments. Morning, Fani. Good to see you. So the markets are doing lots and lots of strange things as usual. Brent crude oil, we've called it long, and it really is kind of giving us a bit of a headache here. Doesn't seem to do what we want it to do. Now, this morning it was going up nicely, and now it's kind of come back again. The oil has been sitting here for a really long time. And as I've told you guys before, oil normally always trades between 65 and $100 at any good time. So I'm just waiting patiently for this to get to 80. Patience is the name of the game. You've got to be patient in this game. Good morning, Elevation. Good morning, Coral. Always good to see you guys. So yeah, well, you know, you can't be impatient. You can't expect things to happen immediately. Must be financial mics, and they must be Mike. How's it, Mike? Shane, good to see you. Henny, yeah, lovely to see you, Henny. And Fani, Blue Mango's here. Perfect. Looks like everybody's getting here on good time today. You're all here. None of you have run off, gone and done something else. Gosh. Thought you'd all be off watching some other live show, dude, you know. But yes, here we are. And Brent crude oil, okay, this one's going to be a headache, it looks like. One of you guys on the Telegram channel yesterday called this Germany 30 short with me. Remember I said to you, when was it I said, let's go short on the Germany 30? And it's going. And this morning, I think one of you called it as well. There she goes. She's going. I did put an RSI on it at the time because I was looking at that figure where it was severely overbought. So what I did this morning is I said, well, why not throw the UK 100 into this pile? This is probably going to do something similar. Just wait for a red candle and grab the UK 100 as well, because that looks like a reasonably good look as well. What have we got on this platform? The US dollar, Canadian dollar. I will go back to the other platform again. Just not today. Okay. I just like a bit of change sometimes. Keeps me from getting bored. Probably keeps you from getting bored as well. Change your platform from time to time. Look at different ones. Have a bit of fun. Shane saying hello. Blue Mango and the protagonist. BNM stock on sale. Okay. Right. So here we talk about trading. Here we talk about indexes, commodities, Forex, crypto, those types of things. Investing is for another channel or for another place. And I do talk about it from time to time because I do have a sizable investment account. But in general, we don't talk about shares on this particular live show because we're not really trading them. If you want to trade them, you can. It's a good way to start trading, by the way, for those of you who are just getting into the game or beginners or whatever the case. Shares are a good place to start. Equity is a good place to start learning your trade. It's easier to calculate. It's easier to figure out which way they're going. They move that much slower and you get a lot from it. But I mean, in all fairness, I started trading shares, but I only use shares for investing, so I don't really talk about them on this show. So if you've got something that's for sale or on the go or what's happening in the market, go for it, do your thing. The other thing I always advise though with penny shares, stay away from them. If you're going to invest in blue chip shares, invest in the best, invest in stuff that you can see has got some kind of track record and is going somewhere. I would rather invest in a Coca-Cola than some Mickey Mouse thing that is worth 2 cents that you believe is somehow going to become Coca-Cola. In all likelihood, it won't. So yeah, I'd rather invest in stuff that's got some kind of track record. I can see the business out there. I can see what it's doing. I can see where it's going and what it's going to become. I'm also very careful of the building industry. The building industry is such a big mafia. And besides that, they always tend to mess up somewhere down the line. So just be careful of the building industry if you are in shares. But yeah, I don't know why I went on that little rant, but yeah, okay. I think because you said B&M stock on sale. Blue Mango finding a Coral, Blue Mango. I hope we're holding AMD. There, I do believe AMD will be in the portfolio. I do have quite a few tech shares, Nvidia, the most important one, and a couple of others. I've got quite a few financial. I've got quite a big portfolio, so you know it's in there, and it's just forget it. What I do is I add to what I've got at the moment. So I go and have a look, and I see which ones look like you can add to, which are the best ones to add to. And I don't try and weight everything into one stock, so I try and balance it out as much as possible. So every month, I try and add to the stocks where I can. I must say I've been adding a lot to Nvidia. I've been adding a lot to Amazon and one or two others, but yeah. And I don't only trade in the US, I also have accounts for the South African stock market as well. That too. So I look at what's going on around me here as well. And I don't use charts for that. What I use is what I feel. You know, I look at the market and I see how the market's doing. I'm very impressed with AMD, I must say. With their product and everything, it's really growing. It's done really well. Okay, so just remember, we trade three ways. We trade with the trend, we counter trade the trend, or we break out support and resistance, or we trade in the range. And what's in the range at the moment? Let's have a look. Ooh, Brent crude oil's in the range. So it's at the bottom of the range, and we kind of have bought it. We do own it. So we wait for it to go up and see how she goes. This UK 100, the FTSE, what I'm looking at, the reason I'm looking at it is there's a bit of a pincer top here. It did break down through this trend. It's come back up to retest. It looks like it's trying to fall off of it. And there's a long way down to support. I just got this strange nagging feeling that markets are going to get kind of shocked, or something's going to happen that's going to cause them to start dropping off, particularly the US 500, because, like I say, I've seen this before, where everybody is just so happy to keep on buying, even though the world is ending in the background, even though fundamentally things are going pear-shaped, and the US government is effectively shut down. Nobody's getting salaries. You're not getting any CPI data. You're not getting any jobs data. Everything's closed. Everything's shut down. The president of the country is busy negotiating with healthcare to get the government open again, but it looks like he wants to keep it shut down so that he can start getting rid of people. There's a whole bunch of things going on in the background, and people are just happy to keep on buying because they don't believe that anything will ever go pear-shaped and everything will just be hunky-dory. Because every time this has happened in the past, and this is why human beings do this, every time this has happened in the past, this has kind of worked out and gone away and everyone's been happy. So the expectation is it'll happen like that again. It'll do it again. The government will shut down, and you know what? It'll just reopen in a few days and everything will be fine. And believe me, if it does, the next time this happens, we're going to have a similar scenario where nobody cares if the government shuts down. It's not that important because it's just going to open up again. Trouble with that is there's going to be that one time. There's going to be that one time where this becomes an extended problem, where this becomes an extended situation, and it doesn't open up again in a realistic time. And then you're going to see a lot of pain, a lot of shock, and a lot of things going on. Everybody's very confident and too happy with these scenarios. Every time something happens, I've noticed it in the news these days fundamentally, people are just ignoring it. People are just letting it slip by. And that's usually a bad sign. It's usually the sign that something's going wrong, something is about to happen. And everybody's just ignoring the red flags completely and just saying, the world's fine, man. Everything's great. Let's just buy. Let's just keep on buying. You know, it was Warren Buffett that said that buy when everybody else is scared and running, and sell when everybody else is happy and buying and getting excited. That's as far as investing goes. But when it comes to trading, all you got to do when the fundamentals are a bit tricky like this is follow the strategy and manage your risk. Keep in the back of your mind what's going on. Obviously, you know what's going on. It's in the back of your mind. You know that at any moment things could go kind of strange. So if you were to buy the S&P 500, that doesn't mean, all you do is you put your stop loss in place at the 1% and you put your target in place and you say, well, if I get lucky and it goes my way, I'm going to make that. And if I don't, then I'm only going to lose that. Take your stop losses, don't extend your stop losses. And as long as you have those stop losses in place, then you won't have an issue. The guys who have the least issue in situations like this are the 5-minute traders, for example, because you're only trading for 5 minutes future and you're just looking at what's happening here and now. That kind of also, you know, that's kind of the type of trading you're dealing with. And if it goes your way, you make the money. If it doesn't, you take it. It's coffee with Rob, by the way. Hello, FX Trader. Good to see you again, man. So all the locals, can I call you the locals? All the guys who normally here are here. The A-team's here, and it's always good. Yeah, Shane, you're that 5-minute trader. But yeah, no, that's 5-minute trading is no different to 4-hour trading or 1-day trading or 1-month trading, apart from the patience issue. The difference comes in with the high risk. In other words, the amount of points that it moves before you take a loss or whatever the case. But if you manage the risk, if we sit here and we take 10 trades on 5-minute or 15-minute or 1-minute charts, you should have a 50-50 chance of winning or losing either way. And if you manage it correctly, you should, in all likelihood, make a profit. So if it's managed correctly, there's nothing wrong with it. The trouble with it is just about nobody, very few people are able to manage it correctly, are able to keep their emotions in check, and are able to do the job that way. There are 1 or 2 people that can do it. There are a few people out there that have the mindset to do it, but most don't. And that's why I don't show people that kind of trading. There are people out there who do. But I must say, most traders with the normal psychology of mindset towards trading will end up trading on maybe day or 4-hour rather than 5-minute or 15-minute. But there are still a hell of a lot of people who like, for example, the 30-minute or the 15-minute. Many of you guys, I'm sure, trade on the 1-hour. You know, it's all about the psychology of patience at the end of the day, how much patience you've got. And if you are able to control yourself when trading on the 5-minute time frames, if you are that person, then go for it, enjoy it. I don't do it simply because I don't need to, number one. And number two, I don't want to sit in front of the charts all day watching charts and trading. So I prefer, after so many years of trading, just to put positions in place and then do my thing. But you can do that when you've got enough backing to know that you're not desperately trying to make money out of trading today or whatever the case. It doesn't matter if you make it in the next 3 days or if you make it today. So that's a different scenario. And that's why I say different strokes for different folks. But yeah, that's why I do it that way. Is because firstly, I don't need to. And secondly, I don't want to. I'm not in the mood for that. Sitting there just doing that all day. I have found many other things to keep me busy. Many other things to do. Hello, Genways. Welcome. Welcome. Good to see you. Always nice to have a lot of people here. Okay, so we were looking at the US 500. There's the gold. The gold is moving to the upside. Big red candle down. Bit of a green one going up, and then yeah, it. Like I said to you guys earlier, everyone's targeting this 4,000 level. I believe everyone will get to that 4,000 level eventually. Yeah, it's a target. Everyone's targeting it. It's like the US 500. Like I said at the beginning of the year, the US 500 will get 6,600. There it is. Got to the 6,600. Next target, 7,000. Round figures. Round figures are important, guys. Always remember that round figures are important. Round figures are something that human beings like. So a 3957.20, that's not the figure. The figure is 4,000. Everyone's looking for 4,000. Interesting, though, that it stopped just before the 4,000 at the 39.80. Why has it stopped at the 39.80? Well, many people are thinking, well, if it gets to the 4,000, everyone's going to jump out anyway, so I'm going to take my money here. Now, you have to remember that most of this money that's jumping in and out of the trades is institutional money. So they're making big trades, and they're looking at, I need to get out now because if it hits the 4,000, it's going to come tumbling down. So that's probably why it's falling just short of the 4,000, but I still believe it'll probably get there, touch it, and then head on down. It'll probably start running down quite hard. New Zealand dollar, US dollar is falling again, starting to take a bit of a dip. So it looks like the New Zealand dollar, US dollar wants to drop off. I just want to see something here. Is that a level? That level is now quite far down. I just want to see what we've got here, because this level, it seems to be more around here than anything else. That level's dropped quite far. No, there's your level. There is there. Actually higher up. And it's actually right on that level at the moment. So let's just see what we've got. Purely out of interest, by the way. Okay, so we've actually got a level right here, right now, a support level that the New Zealand dollar, US dollar is hitting. That's a major support. It might actually bounce off that. Interesting, eh? Might actually bounce off that level. This one we called during the week last week, I think. This is the US dollar, Japanese yen. Now, this is of great interest to me because every time the US dollar, Japanese yen hits 150, the Japanese government tends to take action to try and prevent this from going further at 150. They don't like it going above 150, so they do everything in their power to push this back down. So if you're looking at a long-term kind of short against anything, this might be it. It still might reach 51, 52, 151, but they're going to start stepping in soon because this is a level that they don't like. They don't like this level. And then there's also this huge gap here that needs to be filled as well. So I've got this gut feeling that US dollar, Japanese yen will start going short soon. We're probably going to pick up a short on this. It's going to probably look like a decent short. So what I would say is maybe look for a, okay, that's gone. Maybe look past that last low there. If it breaks through that, maybe grab a short off of it. If it breaks past that prior low, see what it does. That's actually quite an interesting one to look at. Beginner trades, oh, Yami, okay, show us the trade. Don't quite understand what that means. Okay. Now, Germany 30. And by the way, guys, as I've said before, for those guys that are new here, for those guys who don't know me, for those guys who don't know Rob, who haven't met Rob and have never seen me before, and are thinking, I'm going to go there and go and watch Rob show me how he makes $1 million. I'm not here for that. I'm not here to show you how much profit I can make. I'm not here to show you how many trades I can win or lose. I'm not here to get all fancy and boast and carry on about how I made $1 million or anything like that. I'm here to show you the mistakes that I've made in the past, and I'm here to give you systems and strategies that might help you in the future, that might help you with your trading, that might help you get along. I'm also here to have a community, to get together that can actually talk, that can talk to each other, that can help each other as far as possible so that you guys can grow as traders. That's so important. It's so important. Many people think because there's so many other maybe YouTubers out there that do it that way. I'm not here for that. I'm not bothered about that. I'm not here to say, check at me, look at me, I made $1 million. Look at me, look at my Ferrari, look at my Porsche. I'm not here to do that. I don't have time for that. And I'm not that type of person. It's funny though, because the older you get, and I don't know about you older guys out there as well that are much older than me, obviously, that I don't know if you feel the same way that I do, but I got to that point in my life where material things are not as important as they used to be. You know, I look more for relationships and people and nature and that sort of stuff. So that type of stuff is in the past. I really, maybe because you have some in the bank, some backing, and it becomes less of a thing. Maybe if you don't have it, it's more, you know, you want it more, whatever. I don't know what that is, but all I say is, as I got older, that's the way I feel. And so I'm not going to sit here and do that. I'm not going to sit here and say, check this trade, look at that, look at how I did this. Look, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show you the basics of trading, the strategies of trading, the systems that you can use to make money, and the way that you can go about it. And you need to figure out the best way that works for you, the most positive way that works for you. This US dollar, Canadian dollar trade, we're actually short on that. So it's actually going against us. Ooh, I thought it was going for us. It's actually going against us, going the other way. That's okay. Okay, there's the UK 100 starting to drop now, starting to make the fall. So this might be an interesting one. Maybe if that red candle closes, we should get in on a short on the UK 100. And the DAX as well, we were talking about that. This might actually be a short as well. Okay. Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's the thing, Shane. Your priorities, I don't know, your priorities just change. And I put it down to my old age. Maybe I've just learned a lot. I don't know. And maybe because you've been there, done that, had a few this way and that way, you know, you learn more about things. And some people never learn that, by the way, never come across that. They always look for the material stuff, but it's nice to have it. Of course, you need material things. I mean, obviously, you need money to buy food. You need money to pay for the home and the cars and all the rest of it. You need that stuff. You can't be without it. All I say is it gains less importance. That's all. So I see a lot of people out there that get attracted to the thing of, look at this, look at what I can do, look what I can make and how much I can make and all the rest of it. And that's not what it's all about, guys. And if you can't do this with a bit of fun in your heart, then don't do it. If you're only doing it for the money, if it's only for the money and you hate what you're doing, if you hate getting up in the morning and trading, then you are in completely the wrong game. Then you get out, because you need to love what you're doing with this. Because to do this for 30 years or more, you really have to enjoy what you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to get insanely either bored with it or annoyed with it, or you're just not going to feel like getting up in the morning. You know, this is a roller coaster of emotions. Trading is a roller coaster of emotions. It goes up and it goes down, and goes up and it goes down. So you have your highs, you have your extreme highs, and then you have those lows, those extreme lows. And those can be pretty dangerous, those lows. Those lows can set you off on a tangent. They can actually make you give up trading. I've seen many video creators say, I'm done with trading, I've given up trading, I'm finished trading. And it's normally because they've hit those extreme lows, you know, and realized, you can actually take losses. Normally people that don't understand that you can take a loss, because in the market, as I've told you a million times, the market's 50-50, and there's a very good chance that you could take a loss. There's a very good chance that, in fact, there's a 50-50 chance that you're going to take a loss. And if you don't realize that you can take a loss, then you make the mistake of not managing your trades, of not managing your losses, of not managing your life as such. And then you don't put a stop loss in place, or you move the stop loss, or you follow a trade down because you believe in it wholeheartedly, and you're just married to the trade and you can't get out of it, and you just keep on following it down to the pits of hell. And eventually you're so deep in that you're depressed. And it can cause depression. Material losses can cause such depression. You know, in the old days, in the times of the caveman, people were afraid of the bloke next door with a club with a nail in it. Or maybe a dinosaur. I don't know. But these days, people are afraid of losing their wealth. People are afraid of losing those material possessions. And that fear is insane. It's a huge amount of fear. So, yeah, if you've only come here to watch me trade, then you're probably watching the wrong lifestyle. We do trade together. Sometimes we take a trade and we do it together, and that's a bit of fun. I mean, if the UK 100 becomes a trade, we'll take the trade. If there's any others here that become a good trade, we take the trade. Sometimes you guys call a trade, we take a trade. But that's not what the show is about. The show is more about how you trade. The show is more about my experiences and the experiences that you can have trading. So, yeah, I see it a lot. I see it a lot in comments from guys that are new to the channel and what they're thinking. So I just thought I'd bring that up. You know, like, guys, it's all about you. This is not all about me. This is definitely not all about me. Believe me, I'd love it to be all about me. It would be great, wouldn't it? Every human being loves that, but it's not. It's about you guys, and it's for you guys, so that you can figure out how to trade and how to make money. You know, if I tell someone you're not going to make money with a win rate, you can totally disagree with me and say, that's not so because I believe this, that, and the other. And there's no problem with that. Totally, I understand. What I'm saying to you is, from my experience, for example, you can't make money with a win rate. There's a reason for that if you don't have a strategy. Hi, David. Good to see you. Dr. Leon. Welcome. Good to see you again. UK 104, do you have a gap between 9423 and I'm using C-Trader at the moment? Yes, we have a gap on the UK. It's the UK 100, you said, eh? UK 100. Let's just see. Am I wrong? What was I looking at with a gap? Something else with a gap. I think it was the DAX. This is the 4-hour. H4. 9423 and 9431. There isn't even a fair value gap there, Shane. I don't. Maybe. It's very tight. Very tight. I wouldn't worry about any kind of gap in the area. I don't see a gap. I don't have a gap. So, no, I don't even see a fair value gap, actually. And I don't use those anyway. But if I was to see one, I'd be looking for it. And no, there's nothing to trade there. Forget about that. No. What I'm looking at with the UK 100 is it's hit a high, it's hit a top, it's broken through this structure here. The structure can also move, by the way, but I'm not going to move it. I'm looking at, it did actually break that structure, so I'm just looking at, you know, there are possibilities that could be the new structure, but I'm just looking at that it's going through there. It's come back up to retest. It's sort of looking a bit weak. It looks like it wants to drop. I'm also looking at the overall market, and I'm also comparing the Germany, which is looking a bit ominous as well. Looks like it wants to break off. Will the markets go up? I couldn't tell you. Nobody can tell you. But, or will they go down? But I just have it's nagging me. It's actually nagging me. And the big reason it's nagging me is because of all the fundamentals in the background, because of all these government shutdowns, all these stories going on. You know that the market, the US 500, has kept on going up, regardless of a war in Ukraine, regardless of a war in Israel, regardless that America's poking their nose in, regardless of the economy, which is going terribly there, by the way. And you can see that if you walked into the shops last week and bought something, and you walk into the shops this week and buy something that's more expensive, that should be telling you something. Regardless of that, still going up. And regardless of a government shutdown, still going up. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that the markets are moving in that respect. So I have to say that that is in itself a little bit tricky, to be fair. So yeah, I don't know, guys. That is pretty tricky. I'm just looking at Shane's picture here of his gap, and let's have a look at you. There's a ghost in your picture at the back there. I don't know. That might be you, Shane. The reflection. The reflection. Okay, so you're looking at that fair value gap there, which it's already taken. If that's the fair value gap you're referring to, it's already taken that. It's also taken that support, and it's moved back up. Yeah, very short term. And I see down there, you're looking at that gap further down. Yeah, okay. All right. I don't think it's going to affect much or do much. I see what you're looking at there. It's very small gaps down here. Sorry, UK 100. Down there, you're looking at the gaps down there. On that level, effectively, and there's another down there that you're drawing in. Now, I think you drew in this. This is a demand of money that you might have drawn in at the bottom here. There's a supply of money that you drew in, which would have got taken out, gone. Yeah, no, there's nothing there. Nothing to write home about. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. I did have a look at your, okay. Let's see if I can get, if Telegram comes up here. Yep, there it is. And I'm just going to show you guys. See, this is Shane's picture that he's showing me, and he's looking at these levels here. But I'm not really seeing much to write home about, so don't worry about that. Okay. For those of you who haven't joined the Telegram channel, it's there for you. Do me a favor, keep it to the group, as far as you can. I'm not going to sit and answer marketing questions or stuff like that. I've got this stuff or that stuff. I'm not going to do that on a personal basis on the side. I'm not going to answer those, okay? There are people out there that try that, and that's not on. So, yeah, it's there for you as a group, and we can chat about trading and that sort of stuff. Okay. I'm not going to have people sending me stuff to try and market stuff to me or whatever the case on the side because I've now opened up the Telegram channel, because that's not going to happen. That's not what it's for. Definitely not. Where were we? UK 100. Yeah. Okay. So we're looking at this. What I would say is watch out for this level here, the support level that is bounced out of, but I think it's going to possibly find its way through that and maybe find its way down. We shall see. Like I've said before, all these trades are 50-50. It doesn't really matter which way you go. Let's just see what happens. Protagonist, I don't understand what you mean by BNM stock on sale. Okay, no worries. Thanks, Rob. And the gap at the bottom. Yeah. Perhaps be more elaborate on what you're talking about there, Protagonist. Tell me what you are on about so that we can all understand what you're on about. You see, sometimes there are things in the market, and then you see something, and it's a big thing on your little grouping, and nobody else understands what you're on about. And maybe it's something that everybody else hasn't stumbled across or doesn't know about. But yeah, Let's see. See what you're on about. US 500, will it go up? Will it go down? It's very much based on everyone's just buying it to the upside at the moment. So if you want to buy it, buy it. But yeah, I'm kind of in two minds on that. Got a feeling it's not going to work out. I think it needs to correct a bit before it goes up any further. And perhaps it'll correct a lot. The longer the shutdown draws on, the more of an issue it becomes. Interesting that somebody said to me that the market price always comes back. Now, on Forex, that's the case because Forex is cyclical, because Forex goes up and down. In general, it goes up and down. But on indexes, it doesn't. On indexes, it tends to go up. So if you're short on an index and you don't have a stop loss, there's a good chance that it won't come back. If you're on gold, there's a good chance that it won't come back all the way. So if you take a short trade on those kinds of products without a stop loss, that comment that market price always comes back, so I don't need a stop loss, is not good. Because what you're saying is that one day, if I buy the S&P 500 at 3,000 and it's at 7,000 now, that it'll eventually come back to 3,000. That's not true. That's never going to happen, as far as I can tell. It might. This was a big world war or something, but probably not. And what you're saying is if you buy gold at 4,000, or if you buy gold, or if you sell gold at 4,000, it should, in all likelihood, go back there. Or if you bought gold at 2,000 or sold gold at 2,000, it went up to 4,000, it'll in all likelihood get back to 2,000. Probably not. With the Forex, that might happen, but that depends on how deep your pockets are. You see, what you're going to remember when you don't have a stop loss, you need deep pockets. You need really deep pockets. So you've got to be some kind of institutional trader, because if you take a trade to a relatively big size and you have an account size, you got to make sure that that account size can cover that trade. Because if it fundamentally goes into a drawdown, into a loss, you've got to be able to cover that loss for an extended period of time if you don't have a stop loss. In other words, the market can stay solvent far longer than you can. So there's a threshold to everyone's psychology. There's a threshold to everyone's feeling, on how far they can take it. So the loss gets worse, the loss gets worse, the loss gets worse, the loss gets worse. Eventually you're going to jump out. I just want to read these comments. European value retail SA. Is this what you mean? Yeah, Forex goes up and down. It's cyclical. I was just reading the comments. Sorry, I went quiet there. I was just reading the comments. B&M European Value Retail SA. You see, the thing is, B&M, I don't know. Obviously, it's not on my list, and it's not something that I trade. But there's no such thing as actual share stock on sale. That's not something that's on the go. It's just like you're either buying it or you're not buying it. It's either for sale or it's not for sale. Is it a liquid stock or isn't it a liquid stock? It's not in my investments. I don't have it in my investments. I haven't looked at it. I haven't studied it. And like I say with shares, I set and forget. I don't trade them. I buy them, and I buy what's good. I don't even know the company, so I'm not interested. If I haven't seen it doing well and I haven't seen it working well, I'm not interested. And there's no such thing as shares that are on sale. All shares are on sale. You can buy at any time, at any place, if there's liquidity. And if there's no liquidity in a stock, I won't touch it with your money, because if I need to get out at any time with liquidity, then I need to be able to sell. So, and I don't buy one share, I buy a lot. So I'm not interested in companies that are not liquid. Okay. I look at like on the markets, and that includes the US market, which has an S&P 500, by the way. On the markets, I look at a maximum of 60 shares. That's it. I won't go above 60. And that's on the South African market and the US market. I look at 60 shares tops. That's it. I won't go over that. I tried to keep it to 50. I ended up with 60. I won't look more further than that. And then I won't spend my time on them. I won't waste my time on them because they're, I've put a lot of time into the ones that I've got, and that takes a lot of work. So if you can look at 1,000 shares on the market, good for you. I can't do it. I just cannot do it. It's crazy. And that's why with trading I keep to just the indexes, just the crypto, just the commodities and the Forex. That's all I do, because that keeps it limitations. It keeps it limited. And then shares, I never trade anymore. I only invest. And like I say, I only watch like 60 shares in total. That's it. I won't watch more. I won't bother with more. It's too much. Far too much. You try, open an investment account, and you try and follow every single share on the market. It'll drive you insane. And you really don't want to be buying shares that are very, very, very illiquid. Let me just have a look at something here. Dum 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 dum. Bum 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 bum. New. Okay, so then you've got. Let me just put this back on the news so we can have a look at the news as well later. Just having a look there. US dollar, Japanese yen, still going up. If a PE is below 15, a price to earnings ratio, future price to earnings ratio is below 15, it's actually a good buy, Shane. And if it's above like 20, it's actually a bit expensive. But that's all changed in the recent years, where there are so many shares out there with a price to earnings ratio of 50 and 40 and 30 because things have run so hard. And they're good shares. They're really, really, really good shares. So future price to earnings ratio with those kind of levels now are fair game. You know, you buy them. I mean, I got so many shares with those kinds of PEs. It's insane. I mean, effectively, I should have, according to the rules, I should have sold them all long ago. But yeah, much of a muchness. To try and find a share that's below 15 is quite difficult in the first place. But what I do, like I said, these days, I will look in those areas. I'll look at the financials. I'll look at the CR. I'll look at stuff like that. But only after I've seen a company doing relatively well in the world. So if I see a company that's going out there and doing something, then I'll be interested in it. I'm not interested in share sale. I'm not interested in things that are listing on the market or anything like that. I'm only interested in companies that have been there, done that, and that I can see I've got growth perspective, not ones that are falling off the bus, ones that are doing well. And then I'll go and look at those figures and say, how do they fit in with what I'm looking at? Is this a good company? I mean, a good example in South Africa was a company called Naspers. When I bought them, they were 250 Rand. I believe they went through 5,000 Rand or something like that. You know, and the PE has always been high, always been insanely high. They were linked to Tencent in China. You know what? It's much of a muchness. Cocoa, go along for Cocoa. Hi guys, hey Solancelot. Hey, how's it? Good. good, Coral. If you're going long on cocoa, just look at the liquidity. I try to stay away from things like that. But yeah, if it's got liquidity in it, it depends on the size of your trade as well, obviously. But no, I don't have an opinion on it at all. Orange peels. Look, if it's tradable, trade it. If it's not tradable, don't trade it. Hi, Fonny. It's totally up to you. And not everybody has got cocoa on their list, okay? So keep that in mind as well. Not every, like there's a lot of brokers out there that offer you CFDs or futures or whatever the case. They don't have everything on there. For example, IG's got orange juice. You can trade orange juice, but the other guys don't have it. So, you can't trade sugar everywhere. So just keep that in mind, all right? It depends on your broker. It depends where you are. Watch the liquidity. Because if not every broker has it, there's a good chance the liquidity is not great. And you might be just trading against the guys in your brokerage. So just watch out for that. I look for products that are pretty popular, like gold, like Brent crude oil, like the indexes, like all the Forex pairs. Things that are popular, things that are out there, things that everybody has got access to. Because then you're going to have some volume movement. You're going to have some movement on the chart. Let's just have a look here. Boom, 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 boom. And if I look at cocoa, it looks like it's dropping into the pits of hell. I'm just looking at the chart. Let me show you guys the chart, just so by the way, so you guys can see it for yourself. I just brought it up here purely out of interest. Let's go and show you guys. I put it up here, and that's what the chart looks like. And that doesn't look very good at all, does it? Looks like it's just falling off the bus, going into the pits of hell, and dropping off. That's a death cross, by the way. So that is the 200-day moving average, and that is a 50-day moving average. And if you're looking at something like this, this has dropped off. This is going down into the pits. It's not coming back. All right, it's done. It's not breaking structure. It's just going down. So that's going to keep on going down. It's not going up. That's for sure. Here's the Dixie, guys. Here's the United States dollar. Looks like it's trying really hard to recover. Look at that. It's coming around. It's going up. There's a few greenies there. Looking like it's this 50 days turning around, starting to move up, starting to break, come back to that. If it comes back to that 200 and breaks up, then it's going to go back up. So it's swinging around. It looks like it's holding on at the bottom. There's a double bottom over here. That looks like it wants to turn and go up. Now, what does that tell you guys as far as the world goes? What does it actually say to you? What it actually says to you is at the moment, the world is in disarray and everyone's buying, going up with this index, right? Now, picture the scene. Everything goes kind of strange and starts going pear-shaped, and that dollar starts going the other way, and this starts falling. That's your next scenario, the correction on the US 500. That's what I'm expecting. That's what I'm expecting. Yes, I prefer Brent to WTI, and I don't know why. I actually, for years, I've just always traded Brent rather than WTI. Don't ask me why. I have no reason, okay? I just picked Brent, and let's say I just picked Brent, and I've always been trading the Brent. So, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's kind of the chart I think I showed you now, Shane. Cocoa. It's gone. No, man, it's doomed. It's not going to turn around from there. If it does, you have to wait for it. You have to wait for it to turn around, guys. It's Cocoa is not just going to turn around and go up. It's like anything. For example, you go short on the S&P here just on a whim because it's so high. We can't trade with a supermarket mentality. Basically, we have to look at something telling us, okay, it's turned around now and it's going the other way. So you're going to have to wait with Cocoa. You're going to have to wait for it to break structure and go the other way, which may take some time. It looks to me like it's just breaking straight down. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Gold, DAX, and Brent moves better. A lot of people seem to like copper. I mean, I don't know why, but a lot of people seem to like copper. I've traded it before, but very seldom, very seldom. Also palladium, platinum, all these other materials. I move away from them because I trade them once and then I find out that it's just not going anywhere. It's just sitting still and not really having any liquidity. So that, liquidity is not always just about getting in and out of the trade. Even if you're trading small and you trade palladium or you trade copper or something like that, then it just doesn't go anywhere. Like gold, for example, you've got this movement, you've got this thing happening. It's like, it's happening. There's movement, there's things going on. It's just not happening in those products. I've even traded bonds, 10-year bonds, 2-year bonds, that sort of thing. Also, there's just, I don't bother, nothing happening there. So just stick to things that are moving, stick to things that are working. How many things can you possibly trade at one time? You're limited, you're a human being. So just trade, if you trade all the Forex pairs and nothing else, you've got enough to trade. But if you now do what we're doing, we're trading all the Forex pairs, we're trading crypto, we're trading all the indexes, we're trading all the commodities. Wow, it's insane. Now you want to throw some shares in there and some illiquid products. You don't need all that. It's not necessary. So that's why I keep the shares to investment, keep that on the side, and keep the trading to the Forex and the indexes. More towards the Forex and the indexes than anything else. A little bit of the commodity and the gold and Brent and stuff like that. Maybe silver. But yeah, and then crypto, I just keep it to BTC, maybe ETH now because someone mentioned it. But yeah, no, there's no need to start bringing a whole lot of other products in because you don't need it. All you're looking for is something that price goes up with or something that price goes down with. You're not looking for anything specific. You don't have to love anything specific. But when that happens, when you find products where the price just goes up and the price goes down and you can trade it, then you want something that actually moves with price, something that moves up and down. I like BTC for that because it moves up and down. I like gold for that because it does move. I like the indexes because they do move. I don't like things that don't move much. Those are not for me. No point. And Janway mentions a good point here. Big spreads as well. Big spreads, big swaps, all that sort of stuff. It's the pricing is out there, and you don't want to get caught up in that as well. When I first started trading, who's we? When I first started trading, when I started in my early years, the spreads were huge, man. Imagine paying 7 points for a trade. It's crazy stuff. And nowadays you can get it for 2 points, 3 points, and 1 point even. So there's a big difference between then and now if you get decent trades. But if you start trading those low liquid or poor liquid stocks or poor liquid instruments, you're going to start picking up big spreads, and the price is up there and the price is down there. So your sell price and your buy price is way apart. So if you buy in now, it's going to take you 2 years to sell because you've got to wait for that price to catch up, and that's where the problem comes in. Yep, totally. Exactly that, Janway. Boom, 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 boom. So tell us, Prognos, why are you so interested in the B&M stock on sale? Because you keep telling us the B&M stock is on sale. Why is it important? Tell us about it. Tell us all about it. Tell us why it's important. Why it's important to you. And let us know. Let us know. Okay? Because everything is on sale. Everything is for sale in the market. Absolutely everything. So I'm just wondering why it's important. What's it about? Big spreads can catch you out. Yeah, it's interesting. Copper has a great move. Yeah, copper, a lot of people do trade copper. A lot of people like trading copper. I've noticed that. It's actually quite interesting, actually. These days, people are trading copper. I myself don't trade it anymore. And I haven't traded it for a long time. But yeah, I can see just by looking at the chart, it's still a bit of a iffy product. If I look at it here, there is quite a big gap here. Okay, let me show you guys. Nah, it's okay. It doesn't matter. It's a bit of an up and down, you know, bit jumpy. But yeah, I've traded it before for whatever reason. But yeah, I probably walked away because of the spreads or something like that. It was just not liquid at the time. And there's a few people out there who love trading things like palladium and stuff like that. As Dr. Leon points out, that he's trading the S&P 500 mini, and he can't push the button today. And I get it. Sometimes when you have that moment, it's the best time in the world to sit on your hands. Sometimes you just need to sit on your hands and just be patient. Or sometimes you just need to sit on your hands, because these things can really whack you if you're not sure which way to go. If you're not sure, don't trade it. What I would say to you, though, is maybe look for some other products that you can trade when you're not trading. So, for example, if the S&P 500 is not working out for you today, isn't there something else that you can trade? Now, being a 4-hour trader, I'll look at all of the Forex pairs. I'll look at all of the index pairs. I'll look at some of the crypto and some of the commodities, right? So I'll have something to go and look at because I'm on the 4-hour charts, and I'm not always going to find something on the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ or, you know, the FTSE, whatever the case. I'm always going to have to look for trades. So I'm used to digging around for trades. But when I traded 5-minute charts, when I felt like I wanted to do that, and I don't want to do that, but when I felt like sitting and watching charts all day and I was trading 5-minute charts, I would always have three. I would always have three products. So, for example, I would trade the S&P 500. I would trade the DAX, maybe the FTSE. I'd even maybe have a fourth, you know, like the NASDAQ or something to that effect. So, you know, with that scenario, it's totally up to you, but I would have something else to trade as well. So Lunchalot has just sent us his copper trades, and it looks interesting. Looks good there, man. Looks good. Looks really nice. Yeah, that's quite impressive. And you know, if you're happy trading it, trade it. Always trade what you feel good with. And as I just said now, you know, if you are looking at trades and you're not sure what to trade, you like only got one thing that you trade. If you've only got one thing to trade and there's nothing on the go, then it's kind of like there's nothing on the go. So try and have more than one thing to trade if you can, even if you're trading on the 5-minute charts. I would normally on the 5-minute charts or the 4-hour charts, maybe have three. Have three next to each other. no big deal. I mean, you don't have to have like 9 charts up here or 8 or whatever. You can have 3 and you can have a look at them and you can say, I'll take that, I'll take that, I'll take that. On the 5-minute charts, you're always going to find something to trade. Just don't make them exactly the same. And you can have a bit of fun like that. But yeah, like I say, when I traded on those lower time frames, I used to always have like 3 or 4 that I would trade. It's just that I'm on the 4-hour. So on the 4-hour, I look far and wide for trades. But I don't have to look that far and wide that I have to go and look for illiquid products. I just look for trades. And that's exactly what we're... Let's have a look at BTC today, just so by the way. And wow, look at BTC, eh? Look at BTC. Has it moved or what? Insane move here. All the way, remember it came all the way down to the 110, down to the 100. And it's shot up all the way back up to the 100. It's almost gone to 130 or into 126. Coming back down again. And it looks like it wants to go down. I did have a question from one of the members asking me about my feeling on the extended investment in Bitcoin, and I think you guys know my feeling on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is built on fresh air. Crypto is built on fresh air. I don't see any asset value on it. So for me, it's not an investment. I'd rather keep my investments in my shares. I've got lots and lots of shares, and I don't need to invest in Bitcoin. And it'll move just as well over time. So I'm not too concerned about that, but I don't believe in investing in crypto. I believe that you can trade crypto, you can get in and out, and you can have a bit of a go with it because it is a bit too big to fail now. It's grown to an extensive size. But as far as investment goes, I'd rather put it in a bunch of shares, knowing that those are companies with asset values and they've got some kind of backing and all the rest of it. Boom, 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 boom. So Sir Lancelot, are you asking about copper? And if I'm looking at copper, Shane, I know you said it's going to go down somewhat, but I kind of agree with Sir Lancelot here, looking at his chart, that he's on the right track with it going up. It is going up. And even if you draw a trend line along the bottom, it is still going up. It's above his support. And it is moving along to the upside. There is a bit of a top here, so that could be an issue, but it looks like it still wants to go up. And it has failed to make its higher high. You are correct. I believe if it goes past that higher high, it's gonna go. But it's not showing any signs of bearishness yet. It's still bullish. It's still above its main trend. It's above its short-term trend. It's broken its short-term trends to the upside. Breaking past the prior high will send it all the way up. So, yeah, I've got nothing against it. No worries, Shane. I'm just pointing out because I don't want Sir Lancelot to now think, well, I was get out of it. It doesn't look bad. It actually looks okay. It actually looks like a decent long trade. I was just looking at that in the background, guys. Sorry about that. I should actually put it on when I do that so you guys can see it. In fact, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to do that. I'm going to just put the Telegram channel on here so that I can show everybody what Sir Lancelot's got here. This is Sir Lancelot's trade. And you can see he's got the green there, and it's fantastic. It has, look, it's above this trend, which he's got there. It's above the trend, so it's staying bullish. It's staying bullish. And it's above the midterm support as well. So it's holding above that support. And obviously, it's also broken through this short-term trend resistance. So it's gone to the upside, and it's looking to the upside. I would say if it breaks past that prior high, then it's going up. What Shane is pointing out, that it failed to break the prior high. Yes, but and it is sort of... filtering along here, but you'll notice if you go back, human beings are creatures of habit. Remember what I always tell you, human beings are creatures of habit. And if you go back, you'll see a very similar pattern along here. You'll see it didn't make the prior high, it didn't break the high, it came down and it went up. So you see it keeps doing that, it keeps going up, then filtering along, going up, filtering along, going up. Now, normally these pennants or flag patterns tend to resolve in the direction they're going in. So if you get something where it goes up and it goes along, it'll normally resolve in the same direction. Now, note I say normally, not always. Okay, not always. Okay, so there you go. So I think that is a pretty reasonable and decent looking choice of trade. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. I would look at that and be happy with a trade like that. So there you go, Sir Lunch. I've just had a look at your trade. US dollar is weak today. I see about 5 possible trades. FX, good point, Rob. Okay, so US 500. Let's have a look here. US 500. Are you looking on FX? What time frame are you looking on? Probably the lower time frames, eh? If I go to, where are we? 15-minute. Let's just have a look on the 15-minute, just out of interest. And if I look at the S&P 500 on the 15-minute, it's bullish at the moment, but it could come back and take this money lying here at 67.30. This is why I don't trade on these time frames as well, because there's so little points between there and there, to take. But it looks like it could come down. But it does look like it wants to break these prior highs as well. It might come back and take this money and then go up. This trade's there, but it's bullish. It's broken to the upside. So look on this 15-minute, it's broken to the upside. It's bullish. It's going up. So this looks like it could be a bullish trade as well, going to the upside. You got to think quick when you're trading on the lower time frames. Let's have a look on the 5-minute. On the 5-minute time frame, for those of you who are trading on the 5 minutes, same scenario. Could come all the way down here to the 67.28, pick up this money and go. But it has broken the prior high, and it has also broken to the upside on the 5-minute. It just, if you take it along here, there's a bit of a flag pattern, resolve to the upside. It looks to me like it wants to go up for now. How long is it going to go up for? I don't know. But it looks like it wants to go up. And this is on the 30-minute chart. It looks like it's going sideways. It might be a bit early in the day to call the S&P 500. But at the moment, it looks a little bullish. It looks like it wants to go up again, which is crazy if you think about it. Totally crazy if you think about it. So there are trades there. Yeah, there are trades on the US 500 if you want to take them. But, I think maybe why you're frozen and not wanting to take it is because it's all bullish trades. And the US 500 is so bullish, yet there's this nagging feeling in the back of your mind with what's going on in the politics. But if you're trading on 5-minute or 15-minute charts, does it really matter? You're trading on such small point movements that you're trading on such small time frames that sort of really is negated. You're just looking at which way it's going to go, and you're looking at the stop loss, and it's only going to do that for a few minutes. You're not looking at leaving a trade in for a longer period of time or over a weekend or anything like that. FX, I'm thinking of changing to futures. I don't like to trade FX, don't know why. It takes time to get into FX, and I think so much what the problem is there. I used to have that problem when I was younger or earlier in my trading career with FX, that it felt like I couldn't do it. It felt maybe volatile, maybe it felt like I couldn't pick the right direction or whatever the case. You get over it, and then you figure out that it's the same as everything else, but it takes time. I get it. I've been there. I've actually been in the same shoes as you, where I didn't want to step into FX for a long time. I felt maybe scared or not sure of it. I think the only way is to get your feet wet. That's the only way, is to step in the mud, step in there, try it out, and try and figure it out. Because the nice thing about FX is it moves up and down. It moves up and down. So that is the one area where price will always come back to where it was. So I think with FX, once you've stepped into it and you've figured out that it's pretty much the same as everything else with the strategy, it's just strategy that you need, then you'll be okay. But yeah, I get you. I've been there. I know the feeling. Shane's thinking of changing to futures. I think if you're a 5-minute trader, Shane, I don't know if futures is the right thing for you. But okay, I get you. I get you. You know that futures is actually what everything is at the end of the day, and then they just give you contracts to trade with and what have you. But yeah, it's futures contracts that you're trading on. And the futures contracts are basically, they expire and you have to pick a price and so on. I prefer something that's here and now, and contracts, they're much easier. But yeah, futures, yeah. I think there's less leverage, eh? Just check it out. Boom. People don't like to trade FX because they can't use the volume indicators. I don't know if that's the case. I hear you, FX trader. Does volume make that much of a difference to any trade? No. Volume, all it can do is really tell you if something's good or bad, or if it's a great trade or not. Volume doesn't do that much for a trade. It doesn't turn the trade inside out. In all my career of trading, using volume, and I had volume at the bottom of every chart at one time, it never really did much for me. It never really played a big part in my trading. So for me, volume was never that thing. And for a lot of people it is. But for me, it never was. It was never that thing that made the difference. So it was quite an easy transition into FX when it came to that. I think it's just, look, back in the day when I started with FX, you must remember there was no crypto or anything like that. So crypto is more volatile than FX now. I think it was just the whole concept and the whole volatility concept and the whole thing. It was a difficult thing to step into. And it was nerve-wracking for me, I remember, and I stepped into it. And the only way to get over it is to step into it, and then your brain realizes that it's not much different to everything else. And if you just follow the right strategy, everything remains the same. It's all good. But we get caught up in things, and then we end up doing strange things. So, yeah. Boom. People don't like to trade FX because they got the volume, the training wheels. Yeah, I'm just using C-Trader for now. It's okay. The C-Trader, I quite like it actually. It's not a bad program. Okay, so what was it talking about? Oh, you actually mentioned, Shane, you sent on the Telegram channel, you sent the S&P 500 daily. Oh, it's actually going quite well. What were we looking at on the that's the S&P 500, S&P 500. Let's just have a look on the hour. You look on the 1 hour time frame, it's pretty bullish as well, isn't it, on the US 500? So I would say that at the moment, everyone's just buying the US 500. Why? Who knows? It could be related. You see, a lot of the stuff is related to the way the money goes and the way the money flows and the value of the dollar and so on. But at the end of the day, you have to look at what's going on around the world and say, what are these people doing? But like I say, at the end of the day, we are trading. So you are looking at keeping a stop loss, managing a trade. Doesn't really matter. If you want to take the trade, run with the trade, work with the trade. The thing I am seeing though on the S&P 500, you see here at 67.50, there's a top. And if it breaks through that, it's going to go. But will it? Will it break through that? Let's see. I'm waiting to see if it breaks to the downside, because I'm also still interested in this UK 100 short, because that could quite easily start to fall to the downside now. Maybe we should just see if it breaks below that low and then grab it there. That might be a decent trade. US dollar Canadian starting to come down again. Germany 30 is trying to recover. We don't want it to do that. This is going to go down. I wonder what this looks like with an RSI. Just by the way, let's just have a look at it. Just for interest's sake. And that is interesting. So this is the US dollar Japanese yen on an RSI. That is interesting. That is seriously overbought. And we all know that institutional traders are going to be looking at this and they're going to start shorting this. I think this needs to be kept an eye on. This is, I think if it goes past that low there, that 150.25, that's got to be a short. That's got to be a short. So, yeah. Keep an eye on this US dollar Japanese yen. That might be a good short. That might be the one. That might be the one for you. Check the daily. The DAX is short, but not on this platform. This is my C trader. But yes, the DAX is short, and unfortunately, it's going against us at the moment. But yeah, nothing goes down in straight lines, and I'm kind of hoping that it'll continue on down. And then I still want to get into the UK 100 short. I'm still looking at this one as well. But then I'm kind of doubling up, but it's okay. I might do it, for example, on a different platform. But I do have the DAX short somewhere else. And it is worrying when you see a green candle like that. It does concern me that it's going to go poof and go back straight up. And then you end up with that stop loss. But yeah, you get losses and you get wins. So we take the chances. I looked at it because of this RSI and I thought that looks like a decent short trade. And that's why I've taken it. But okay, that's fine. That's what I was following. We actually don't need that on there anymore. It's actually fine. But I didn't take it over here. It's only on the other side. Okay. I actually think I've got it on like 2 platforms, to be fair. So hopefully it does stay short. And hopefully this UK 100 also goes short. And I'm actually, oddly enough, hoping that this sentiment also changes here, because then that will start going the other way as well, because it's getting a bit boring and just going straight up like this. It's been going straight up for a long time now. When last did the S&P 500 actually start correcting seriously? It's been a really long time. I haven't seen the US 500 correct for a really, really long time. Long-term short on the DAX. Yeah, no, if you go up to the day, it's kind of like sitting on that resistance, and it's sitting there waiting to go. Yeah. I just kind of need it to stay on the short side. You see, the thing is, when you're in a trade, the sooner it goes in your favor, the better. Because then you're relaxed with it, and you can enjoy it, and you can even take your stop loss up to cost and that sort of thing. But while you've gone into a trade and it's hanging around, and it's not playing ball, those are the most annoying trades. Those are the trades that you look at and think, just do something now. You know, either take me out or go in the right direction. But yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, the problem with this kind of ranging is while it's hit the resistance, it could resolve to the upside, which is not going to be great news for my trades. But I've taken the short based on the fact that it has hit resistance. It does look like it might go down. And also, there's a lot of fundamental issues going on in the background which might play into our favor. So when I say might, I really mean might. There's no guarantees on that, that's for sure. I worry about the price of coffee for personal consumption. Do you notice the price of coffee has gone up insanely? I don't know if you guys, some of you might be in South Africa, but I don't know if it's so expensive overseas, but it's most certainly doubled in price over the last couple of years. Wow, it really has got expensive. But I probably should slow down on my coffee drinking because my blood pressure is probably going through the roof. The amount of coffee I drink is probably insane. Most people can't drink as much coffee as I do. I'm the type of person that can drink a cup of coffee before I go to bed and sleep like a baby. So, yeah, I drink a lot of coffee and I enjoy it. But the price has certainly doubled in the last couple of years. I cannot believe it. Okay, a couple of years, maybe, let's say 4 or 5 years. But it's doubled. It's definitely doubled. And whether it's proper coffee or whether it's instant coffee or whether it's just normal, whatever, it's doubled. It's definitely doubled. I'm not one of those people that goes to the local coffee shop and walks around the street with a cup of coffee in his hand. Don't get me wrong. I never do that. That's insane. I was never one of those guys that walked around with a bottle of water either. It's amazing. When we were kids, we got sent out to school or got sent out to play or whatever, and they never sent us out with water and knee pads and things like that, and we survived. Nowadays, everybody's got to have a little bottle of water or a cup of coffee or something. But I think it might just be fashionable. I don't know. But I will sit down at a restaurant and have a cup, or I'll drink the hell out of it at home, whichever way. I've got my coffee makers and whatnot, but I don't have an espresso. I thought of getting one, and then my son said to me, "No, it's like a waste and all the rest of it." But yeah, I thought of getting one. Yeah, you'll have to start calling it beer Rob if coffee price keeps going. Yeah, no, totally. I'll have to start calling it with beer with Rob. That's not going to be good, by the way, if I sit here drinking beer with you guys, because by the end of the show, I'll be like, something like that. Yeah, no. But yeah, I like beer. I'm a bit of a beer connoisseur, but it doesn't mean I drink it all day or anything like that. But I like to go to these different beer producers and things and taste their beer and stuff like that, because it's a bit like wine tasting. And if you, the different tastes and things like that, it's actually quite nice and quite interesting. I like that sort of thing. But I don't sit and drink it to get obliviated or anything like that. It's not my thing. But I do enjoy a beer, and I do enjoy going and tasting them in different places. I do enjoy tasting different ones. I have my favorite brands, but like I say, when it comes to that, I enjoy that. Mind you, I enjoy going for the wine tastings as well. Those are also good, and you can throw in the odd whiskey tasting if you like. It'll also be good. So lunch, I don't know if drinking and trading will go down well. Yeah. As David says, no water or coffee in the younger years, still alive. We're still here. We didn't die. It's all good. Yeah. What do you think? Sing volume profile to find support and resistance. I was testing it, but the tones are not so clean. At least with my old eyes. Advisor with Rob. DC Leon, what do you think of the volume? Like I said to you, for me, volume and my eyes as well. Good point. I'm looking at. It's never really played a big part in my trading. Never. I spent years with volume at the bottom of my charts. Volume's there. Volume. And I asked myself one day, why is it there? Why have I actually got volume on my chart? Why? Because I never really look at it. I never really bother with it. It's never... How often has it been that I need to check the volume against the move? look, that's it. If I see an insane move on the chart, I can quite quickly go to my indicators, click on here and say, let's have a look at the volume, shall we? Volume. And I can click it and I can go, pick the volume that you want, you know, which one do you want? And just put it on there. Yes. Seriously. And then check it against whatever said move. But I looked at it and I thought, when have I ever actually bothered with it? And pretty much never. So I thought, nah, you don't need that on the chart. We don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need to know that this is a big move or a bad move or whatever move, or this is how we trade with volume. And you've got the volume profiles going up and the volume profiles going down. And I looked at volume trading and it's not going to change anything. It's a bit like divergence, you know, divergence trading. How many times are you going to use divergence in your trading? And if you only trade divergence, how many trades are you going to get? Because it doesn't happen that often. So waste of time, don't bother with it. So many, there's millions of tricks and systems out there in trading. If you use them all, you're never going to trade. But, you know, they all work, but do you need them? Are you ever going to use them? And don't put them all over your charts just for the sake of having them all over your charts. By all means, learn how to use them. It's important to know how to use them. There's nothing wrong with knowing how to use a particular system or a particular a type of indicator. There's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, everyone needs to know that. You should know how to use the indicators if you're going to be trading. And if you're looking at a trade and you're just not quite 100% sure of what you want to do, it's great to pick an indicator up and just have a look and see how it balances out with your thought process. Nothing wrong with that. I do it all the time. As you've seen, I've done it with the RSI. But do you need it on your chart? Do you need 20 indicators on your chart? It just takes up space and it confuses you. So don't do it. No point. How old? It's good to see you again. I'm glad you tuned in. Don't forget to like. Everybody like the video. Don't forget, give me a like. Put the like in there. Really important to get the like into the video. Drinking trading sounds awesome. Shots for every point move. Price makes an order. I can see a game coming here, Blue Mango, with shots. For every point that it goes up, or every 10 points, take a drink or something. Yeah, no, there we go. I use volume only for confirming breakouts or fake outs. Well, that's the point, Shane. That's what volume is for. It's only there to really confirm a fake out, a breakout. Is it a genuine move? Is it not a genuine move? And what have you. It's just that what I looked at was I had volume on every chart. And I just kind of asked myself the question, why? Why do you have volume on every chart when you just about never use it? Never, you know? And I thought to myself, just take it off the chart. Just don't bother with it. Everybody says volume, volume, volume. Waste of time. Morning, Just a Trader. Good to have you on board. If you're just a trader, Blue Mango suggested, and Sir Lancelot suggested, and Shana suggested, and they've all suggested that we should have drinking and trading. It should be a thing. Not just a trader. You need to be a drinker and a trader, I suppose. So far we drink coffee and trade. That's good enough. I think I don't see us becoming alcoholics here. Although traders should be alcoholics, don't you think? With all the stress that they go through. If you're going to become a trader, you've got to learn to get over stress. You've got to learn to put that behind you. You've got to learn to get over fear. You've got to learn to get over so many things. So, yeah, otherwise you would be an alcoholic, wouldn't you? Certainly. Drinks at Rob's place. Shane's on the aeroplane and he's heading over, coming down. Actually, I believe they've got good frosties in Australia, Shane, so we should come there. At this rate, I'll be sober all the time. In other words, the points aren't moving. Well, just a trader, don't make us scare you off, really. Please stick around. We're not that bad. We're actually, quite cool. Yeah. Just a trader is going to be off running. That's a terrible live show. This, you guys are terrible. Yeah. Hope you have some fun with us. We're good fun. Trust me, we're not that bad. And I was, whenever someone says trust me, don't trust them. You know what I mean? Yeah. So to be fair, the UK 100 does look like it now. Confused between platforms. Does look like it wants to come down. So yeah, we're looking for a good short trade here. I'm thinking now, should we wait for it just to get past that level there? What do you guys think, eh? Should we just wait for it to drop past that level before taking the trade? Just to confirm. It's like a prior low, basically, or maybe that one, yeah, there, just there, the prior candle. Did it just drop below that low? And then we might have a trade. We might actually have a trade on the go here on the UK 100. My Germany 30 is not working out. That is kind of going against me at the moment. But if it breaks above that line, I'm going to have to open that platform and close those trades. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'm expecting it to, as I said, everybody's just buying. No matter what happens in the world, everybody's just buying. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Why is everybody just buying? It doesn't make sense. But as long as we manage the risk. Yeah. Amazing how many people think a win rate's going to make them money, though. When we just need to manage the trades, we just need a strategy. Actually, it was one of you guys, was it Sir Lunchlot, that mentioned it? We should take everything off the charts, and just choose 10 trades and just see which way they go. Manage them with a strategy. And actually, I've said this many a time, that will probably, in all likelihood, work just as well as what we're doing here. If you take someone in your household who knows nothing about trading, who doesn't have any sort of bias towards which way a trade's going to go, you can take these trades, plus an extra one, and say to them, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy. Let them choose. Let them choose for you, buy or sell. Make sure they kind of even out. And then take those trades, manage the loss, manage the profit, and at the end of the day, you'll probably win 5, lose 5. Maybe you'll win 6 and lose 4, or maybe you'll win 4 and lose 6. But if you manage them the way we've put the strategy in, then you'll probably make a profit because you win less. You lose less and you win more. I get that wrong, eh? As long as you're losing less and winning more, you'll be okay. Interesting. It's not a win rate that makes you money. It's the strategy that makes you money. And if you do that, it'll probably work. So I think it was Sir Lunch that said it. Go and do the test. Go and see for yourself. You don't need lines on your chart. You don't need any lines on your chart. You don't need anything to tell you which way the market's going to go. At all. You don't need these lines. The problem is, the reason I say is let someone else pick the trades is because you're going to look at this without the lines and say, oh, I want to go short, because you've seen the picture, because it's going to be in your mind. Whereas that person won't even know what they're looking at. If you can get someone to do that for you. Or you can just flip a coin. Oh, which way are we going to go on that one? Which way are we going to go on that one? And you'll be surprised. Everybody plays everything into the system and the win rate and the possibilities. And at the end of the day, if you just apply the strategy and manage the trade, that's all you need. I guess if you do trade that way, it depends how lucky you are as well. Oh, no. Just a trader. I have no luck. If I pick up trades all the time, turn back on me. Okay. I used to like Heineken Sir Lunch a lot, by the way. My favorite beer at the moment, here where I stay, is called Black Label. I call it Millie Beer. Very nice. I do enjoy it. But I also enjoy a good Guinness before a dinner or something like that. Always nice. Really nice. I have no luck if I just pick up trades all the time and they turn back on me. So what might be happening? What might be happening in that scenario, just a trader, is while I said you can just pick any trade, we tend to, how can I put this, need a system to give us an idea of how we feel trades are going to go. Now, we trade three ways, and that is we trade with the trend, we trade in a range, so a range is in an area like that between the two, support and resistance, between the resistance and between the support, resistance, support. And then the third way is counter trading. In other words, it breaks the trend support, or it breaks to the upside and breaks the resistance, or it breaks down and breaks the support. Breakout trades are great because breakout trades or breakdown trades or breaking the structure are nice because generally when you get into them, it means, for example, a trade like this UK 100 that I'm looking at, it's run hard, it's run really high. And it's probably in all likelihood overbought. So we all know that the institutional traders, when something is overbought, they tend to sell. They tend to start selling. So there's a good chance that if that breaks structure and starts to move the other way, in that range, there's a good chance that you're going to be on the right side of the trade. So that is a nice way to trade. Trading in the trend, if you can pick up the trend along the way, you know that you're going with the trend, so you've got a good chance of it going that way with your trade. Very seldom that it's going to go against you. But what you have to figure out is that 50% of the time you are going to lose trades. That's the important thing to understand. And I'm going over this because Just a Trader did say, I have no luck. Every time I pick up a trade, it goes against me. This is something that we all feel. This is something that we've all gone through. This is something that we all struggle with, okay? Trust me, every single trader, not just you, every single trader, and you can ask any one of the guys on this group that's traded, you can ask any one of them, they've all suffered the same pain as you are suffering of, you feel like every time you take a trade, it turns against you. Sometimes you feel like people are watching you. The important thing to understand is that 50% of the time, at least 50% of the time, sometimes more, you're going to lose. You're going to lose trades. So what you have to do when you're picking these trades, now, I don't know if you've watched many of my videos or if you watched any of my videos, but in my videos, I show you guys the system of price action and how to trade, and any system works there. The important thing is managing the trade, and all the guys on this show will know me for that. Managing the trade is the most important thing. I was just looking at the Telegram here, and you guys are posting pictures of beer. It's brilliant. But anyway, I love it. The important thing to understand is you have to manage that risk. So on the size of your account, make sure that you pick a risk amount, whether it be 1%, 2%, off percent, 10%, doesn't matter. 10%, remember, 10 trades, you lose the account. I trade 1% usually. On the size of the account, keep the size of the account the same, even if the size of the account changes. In other words, if you decide on an amount, use that amount as your risk amount, and then pick the same risk for every single trade. Manage the risk. Always choose the risk before the trade. So for example, if you take this trade and you look at this trade and you say, I want to take this trade, the first thing you do is look, where do I want my stop loss? Where is it going to be invalid? So in my opinion, if this trade gets to 95.50, this trade's invalid. It's broken to the upside, it's breaking up, and it's going to the upside. So in other words, I don't want to be in the trade anymore. I don't want to be short on the trade at 95.50. That's my stop loss. And then pick a target that's decent. So a target that's decent here would be 9300. That will be a decent target that it could possibly reach. pick that target, okay? And then that's it. And then every single trade you manage this way. When you want to take profits, just move your stop loss up into cost, move your stop loss up behind it, trail the stop loss behind the price. It's really important, particularly to understand that you're going to lose and that you just need to manage those losses and manage the risk. You see, as I always tell everyone, there's only 1 or 2 trades every single year that make my portfolio. Very few. That just are insane trades. Somewhere through the year, there'll be a couple of trades that just run and they make you a fortune. And then there'll be a whole lot of trades, a large percentage of trades that make target. And the targets are usually far more than the losses, so that's great. But then at least 60% of the trades will be small wins and small losses. Well, the loss that I put in, the 1% or less. Because if something goes into a loss and I can see that it's losing and it's not going to go any further, sometimes I just get out early. So a lot of my trades are 0.5% loss or 0.7% loss, not the full 1%. The wins, the small wins, why do I have so many small wins? Because I move my stop loss up behind the price, and sometimes I get taken out in the stop loss for a very small amount, which means I have a whole mishmash of small wins. That makes up like 60% of my trading. But that also says that I've got a less than 50% loss rate. So in other words, my win rate's probably higher than my loss rate because of all those small wins. But those small wins are irrelevant if you think about it. But the big money's made with 1 or 2 trades and a percentage of trades that make target. Just bear that in mind. So don't feel that every time you take a trade, it goes against you. Everyone's felt that way. And do you know what? This is something, an anomaly in the stock market, just by the way. Most people who are in trading will find that when they take the trade, it turns against them and then it goes for them. Probably because you're at that point where you're taking the trade, where you're expecting it to go the other way, okay? And it's going against you. So don't be too concerned about that. That's also perfectly normal. And I just went off on a whole tangent about that, didn't I? You could have a Windhoek SBU, right? Black label. Before ditto. I don't go below 1 hour time frame. I lose 80% at the time to 95%. SLA and Shane, you guys come over for a bri and we'll make sure there's Windhoek for you guys. I trade futures. Is CFD better for day trading? Just a trader, you can trade futures or CFD. It doesn't matter. I just like CFDs because they're just instant and easy to trade. Just remember, a contract for difference is basically contracts made up by the broker, whereas futures you can actually get on the actual exchange. Has no difference really. It's not that much different. They are futures. The CFDs are made up from futures, by the way. How early do you get into a trade? I've fallen in the same problem, getting into a trade and then it goes against me. Yes, that might be another problem, David. Interesting that you mentioned that to Mr. Just a Trader, that sometimes you're just getting in too early. You need to wait for confirmation. For example, this trade, you need to wait for a red candle, wait for it to break below that line. Maybe you just need to look at that as well. That's also a possibility. Blue Mango's from South Africa because he knows Windhoek and Bri. And he probably knows Black Label too. That's a bit far, sadly. Germany. Yes, Germany has lots of beer. Not for a Bri SLA. No distance is ever too far for a Bri. Good point. South Africans don't barbecue. We Bri. The same thing, by the way. So if you want to pay it all from trading, Sir Lancelot, you've got to make lots of money trading. Rob's also from here. We have the bride, his place. Yeah, imagine. Ooh, that'll be a big one. Massive, massive bride. Insane the size of bride. Oh, that'll be excellent. What a pity that has now created a tell And it looks like all the buyers are getting back in. So it looks like we're not getting that trade right now, but we'll see what happens later. There's a good chance that this will turn around later on and start to work the other way. I've still got the strange little feeling that things are going to work that way. And I see you guys are posting lots of little beer gifs and pictures. Excellent stuff. Love it. Absolutely brilliant. Let's see what's the US 500 doing. You see US 500 starting to push up, which means all these other ones will push up behind it as well. Most probably because the US 500 is pushing up and it'll push up with it. Let me just see, what is Brent doing? Hopefully it's going back up. That's good news because that's also one of my trades. What's the other one I got? US dollar, Canadian dollar. That's coming down nicely, so that'll do fine. That's what we need. But I don't know what the US 500 is going to do. It does look like everybody still seems very confident that the world is just going to be fine and everything's going to go normally and nobody's going to have a problem in the markets, and we'll just keep on buying the US 500, aren't we? The only person from Sydney, Australia here is Shane. Right. Yeah, a family in the UK, just a trader. Bristol, UK. My whole family is originally from the UK. That said, I am originally Scottish, and I was born there. But I've lived all my life in Africa, South Africa. So that's who I am. But family members, yeah, they're all there. They're on that side, all over the place. Yeah, interesting. You know what, just a trader, don't forget, join the Telegram channel with us. You're welcome to. You can join the community there. Everybody trades together. Everybody helps each other. The link is in the description. And yeah, you can join us there and have a bit of fun. It's great. Just keep it to the Telegram channel. I mean, to the group, eh? And yeah, you don't need anybody from Bristol to trade with. You know, like I said, I used to have a WhatsApp group many years ago with a couple of my friends just to keep us busy, because trading, as you know, is a very lonely game. That's probably why you mentioned that. And also, you know, you need people to talk to and people, yeah, fellow traders to talk to, because, you know, you go out with your mates and they know nothing about trading or anything like that. They don't even know what you're doing. So I get it. There's nobody to talk to. There's nobody to hang out with. So join the group. Join the Telegram group. We're a great bunch. They seem to like drinking beer, but there you go. Maybe one day somebody from Bristol will pitch up and you'll be able to have a drink with them. I've got lots of people here in South Africa that I could probably have a drink with right now if I wanted to, because I can see there's a lot of guys here from South Africa in the group. And that's great. That's absolutely great. Maybe one day. See my last name. Yeah. David, your mum was born in Wales. Wales is a lovely place. Oh, yeah, totally. Totally. And Just a Trader has just joined. That's great. That's good news. So guys, you know, as long as we keep it to the group and we don't bother each other and whatnot, then everyone will be great, and we can just bother each other on the group and we can have some fun. But it's nice to bounce the trades off each other. You can help each other and whatnot. And I try and post the odd trade here and that for you guys. It's handy. It's nice. And thanks to you guys, I've opened the Telegram channel now. And as I've said to you guys before, hopefully we don't have the same problem that we had on Discord, where you got these scammy people that somehow copied my name and tried to sell you something. Just remember, I'm not going to sell you anything on Telegram. It's not my thing. So if anyone tries to sell you anything on Telegram and says they're me, then in all likelihood, they're probably not me. And you can check them out. And if you want to test them, just ask them what beer they drink. They probably won't know. And I've told you guys. Yeah. Logical trading. Same as the YouTube channel, Rob's Logical Trading. But I think on the the Telegram, I've called it logical trading. Okay. There you go. Okay, there we go. Guys, I've got to head on my way now. I want to thank you guys. It's been fantastic, and Tanaz has joined. That's good. Fantastic stuff. So we can have a lot of fun with that group as well. So this has been great. The time has gone so fast today, and I've got things to go and sort out. So yeah, pretty sure the wife is waiting for me. So I'm going to have to go. Guys, on that note, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I want you to keep your feet on the ground, reach for the sky, make lots of money. Don't forget to join us for the live show on Thursday at 1400 GMT +2. It's a little bit later. I keep it later because then everybody around the world gets a chance to join us. And I see you guys are all joining the group now. I hope you've all liked the video. I hope you've all liked the live show, because that's important too. And I think this group is going to get quite big, but I believe I'm allowed like a maximum of 1,000 people or something like that in a group. So let's hope it doesn't go over that too fast. We'll see. Otherwise, we'll have to think about that as well. Okay. But guys, thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. And I'll catch you guys on Thursday. Enjoy the rest of your day and tomorrow, and make a profit. Go for it. Keep an eye on that UK 100. Keep an eye on that Japanese yen as well, because I think that's going to be a really interesting trade. It's going to go short most likely from the 150 sometime soon. And let's see what happens in the rest of the world. Let's see if the US government unlocks itself and gets out there like they say it will. Everybody's so happy and everybody just thinks it's just going to happen, but what if it doesn't? Keep that in mind. Okay, takes me a long time to say goodbye, doesn't it? But there you go. Guys, thanks. Keep your feet on the ground, reach for the sky.